Hello everyone and welcome back to Banished. We are going to be continuing on with Silverbrook, the wonderful region of multiple towns and themes, using the Mega Mod pack for this wonderful game. It is, well, it's been a while. Oh man, we have a late snow. That's not good for crops here early spring, but that's okay. We should be able to fight on through. So, big plans as always. Last episode we went ahead and set up a lot of this area here, so you can see the homes are filling in nicely. Big problem though is food. So we are slowly losing food. People out in this region are also kind of isolated, alone, and a little bit cold. It's a little bit of a problem for us, but that's okay. We still have a few tents remaining as we slowly transition these guys into more of the woodland village variety, but things are going to progress, I think, well enough. We have some egg pens going on around here, and just trying to make this place self-sufficient so that the strain on kind of the main village area here and here are kind of relieved a little bit. As you can see, we almost always short on lumber, but that'll be okay. Just hope this late kind of last snowfall here in spring is not gonna bite us in the behind, because I need to start clearing out a whole bunch of land in this area. We need to continue some farmland kind of going along this river to keep the good countryside theme going. And we also need to start getting some animals so we can have a variety of food starting to be processed. So, you know, there's plenty to do, and hopefully we can get to it. So, let's hop in and start kind of clearing along the shore. I'm gonna do this a little bit at random, just so we can see what we have to work with here. I'm not quite sure if I want to do any farmland up here, or maybe just a spotty couple versions of it. I think that could work if I just put a couple homesteads up in the woodland along this little peninsula. You know, nothing too major, but a place where if people get cold, such as this person here, kind of on their way in between the two towns, they can kind of dip inside of a house real quick, get warmed up, and good to go. We are out of clothing. I think clothing is a small thing that we need to slowly start addressing. I don't even know if I have a tailor, to be honest. I don't remember if we ever built one. Did we? Did we ever build one? It's been a little while since we played this game, and I'm having a hard time remembering if we ever built one. The mines seem to be in operation just fine, so that is good. And we are still producing lumber, so that is good as well. I don't know, maybe we'll see and come back and kind of circle back on that. Tools, we still got tools. Oh, looks like we have a little bit of a person out here at the trading post. We get some horses and ducks, but that's not really within our budget, you could say. You know, I really prefer cows, sheep, maybe pigs and chickens, maybe, but definitely cows and sheep, just for the dual resource they offer: milk and meat, or wool and meat. You know, you gotta try and get as more useful as possible animals, and then you can get some more specialized ones down the road. Population is growing, but that has me worried more so than anything, I think. Alright, so as normal, we're just gonna be using the first couple minutes talking about what we're gonna be doing. We still have some land to clear up through the middle there as we progress into spring. Hopefully, with the warmer temperatures, not as much firewood will be needed, and hopefully that'll bring back some stockpile for the next winter. Food is dwindling simply due to the fact that harvest has now been totally delayed. We're gonna get a way late of a start here on that. In fact, people are probably gonna start feeling the pains of starvation yet again here soon. And that's something I wanted to experience so rapidly back to back, it seems to be a major problem for Silverbrook here lately, is just famine. Definitely something that we need to start addressing, whether that's more fisheries here or possibly another gatherer's hut. Gathering huts, of course, strong as ever. Really? Oh, wow. Okay. That's not good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release some students. What this is going to do is hopefully bolster our workforce here so that they can start clearing out this land as quickly as possible, get some of the heavy lifting done, and if we start losing people due to starvation, we can simply allow these extra laborers to slip into the other roles and backfill those positions. Look at all, man, it's just like constant migration between these two towns. This is also why we are building like this. I enjoy this kind of challenge. The logistics behind it is very intense, and you have to really plan ahead and be very careful with your central planning here. Something that we have apparently been not too great at, I will say. We might have to do an early harvest, to be honest, if it's gonna get much worse. Yeah, some animal farms out through here is definitely something we need. So these will be like animal pens going out through there, and this can be, maybe a mixed bag. Who knows? It becomes a little challenging trying to figure out how to theme things, but also keep them useful. I mean, we still have a windmill over here to make. We still have another windmill, an old bakery, and the bakery residence, so we can start getting bread once we get the ability to plant wheat, which we do not have just yet. So that is a problem. Let's go ahead and just early harvest some of these, because 75% yield, 99% yield, that's fine. Not overly concerned with that. What is this, a mini hunter? Let's make sure we're capped off on hunters. A pretty standard, stable food source here, so let's harvest these as well. I know it's early, but sadly planting season started just a little late this year. Blasted snow. Always throwing a wrench into our plans, but hopefully we can counteract this. At least this will get us through the next year without too much hassle. At least that's what the hope is. Still plenty of gathering that needs to be done out here, and I don't know if it's simply due to the fact that we don't have many stockpiles, to make them have to not walk quite as far, right? With a lot of these goods that they're breaking down here. I guess we can inject a few stockpiles in the wilderness. We can always go back and clean them up afterwards, but anything to make the walk a little bit easier for the people, the better. See, health starting to go down a bit as well. We need a new herbalist, I think. Did I turn the herbalist off? No, I didn't. I think we only have one. Hold on, let's take a look. Herbalist. Yeah, no, we only have one herbalist in the whole neighborhood. That's not great. Alright, so if that's the case, then we can... Let's see, do we need a water tower over here? Water towers, I feel like, are a pretty good food source. So let's take a look for one. They kind of look cool anyways. Water towers, here we go. A city water tank, a medieval water tower, a windmill pump, or just a standard water tower. I think the standard water tower is fine. Now, they do generally have a negative side effect on health, but that's okay. we'll hopefully be able to solve that soon as fall arrives. Harvest is taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I mean, that's fine. We did start it a little bit early. So we're okay there. So I think at this point what we'll do is we'll start doing a little bit of speed build. Get this area kind of more established, a little bit more stable as we slowly expand into more farmlands kind of along the river here a little bit more just to fill in the countryside. I might add some other food gathering around this town specifically just to keep the foot traffic a little bit low and make them a little bit more separated when it comes to their food network. So let's take a look. boy, not a whole lot of progress to write home about today, guys. I mean, we did sustain through the major food crisis. If you guys were watching the speed build section, well, more like speed start section, we lost a big chunk of population. I had to empty out the schools, get a whole bunch of laborers just to create a buffer for an extended period of time. It's not something I wanted to do. Losing your educated workers is a long-term detriment to your growth, simply due to they work far more efficient. As you can see now, we might be okay on food, which is great. That's always the most forefront concern when you're playing Banished. Is food, 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 food. The second concern is tools. And then the third concern is education. If you don't have those three things pretty much maxed out, your efficiency loss is pretty large. So at this point, we have no tools. As you can see, we have 67 workers without tools, and it's starting to really show in productivity levels. Now it's okay because currently our food is pretty steady. I went ahead and, as an emergency, built 2 new gatherers huts. We have one up here, kind of at the edge of the farmland, and when this kind of woodland area regrows, it'll blend in a little bit nicer. We have another one down here, and just kind of skirt these in where you think they can be fit. And they generally work out well for you. Again, gatherer's huts, really good for food. We also have our 2 cow pens, which I am still working on the fence work because I can't really have a whole lot of workers building things. Between firewood shortages, tool shortages, food shortages, and overall health concerns and things, it's going to really affect the growth of the next few episodes, I think. We have major problems to address here with the core set of towns, and this is the hardest thing when you have multiple kind of split apart communities, right? Because everyone isn't centrally located in this town anymore. These tools are being shipped to here, and these tools are being shipped way up to here, and vice versa, and there's just not enough to go around in an efficient manner. Same thing with firewood, and things like that, which I apparently need to make probably 2 to 3 other fire choppers, and then we might be at an okay level for that. We still have no churches up. We don't have a lot of the side production buildings up either, like our pottery kiln and hardwood kind of sawmill. That's kind of on just hold, because if you can't get this section right up through here so we can get a good food source, it's kind of for naught. But luckily our cows are doing well. If we want to come in and see, we have 2 sets of cows. We have beef cows over here. They're much larger and obviously kind of bred for their meat. And then we have the standard Fresian cows here with the classic white and black spots. And they produce milk and also beef when they do come of age to do so. Like this one, you can see we have 8 of 7. We're probably going to end up slaughtering a cow this year. If we take a look at them, you can see last year 195 milk and 160 beef, 4 leather and 3 bone meal. So that's a decent amount of items just from this one single person farm. So it's about 300, sometimes it's more depending on how many cows we can get to breed. If we look at the other animal pasture for just the meat, it's 320 just straight up beef. That's good too. More leather, more clothes. So again, that's good. I'm starting to think that really animal husbandry is just more efficient than, say, our farms. Farm 420. It always feels like these guys are being harvested too late. 288 food last season, 104. Now there's many reasons that they're not getting fully harvested. Either the fact that they don't have tools, the workers might have to walk too far to get food. There's so many reasons that these farmland areas aren't thriving. I mean, they're doing okay. I would say they're probably about half capacity of what they should be. And that really shows on our food levels. And then we have a food crisis, and then we lose people, and then the farm shut down and have a food crisis. So that's just kind of what we're dealing with at this point. So next episode, or actually, you know what, off camera, I'll probably try and balance this whole thing out. It's going to take a lot longer than 1 episode or 2 episodes for me to kind of address a lot of these problems. And that's kind of where we're at. Anyways, if you guys are enjoying Banished, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for a specific town theme that you want to go for, in terms of the production, things like that, we are using the Mega Mod. There's so much stuff to do that we're barely scratching the surface, and this is already 10 or so episodes in. With that, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.